we have to get through the censorship. They don't want voices like yourselves out there, and they're trying to limit your reach. You won't be getting those millions of views, unfortunately, like you once did. And so that makes it harder. But where do you find the hope, given these obstacles that we're facing?
Yeah, good question. Important question, because I think we also have to differentiate hope from hopium. And if people haven't seen my report on a brief history of hopium, I hope they'll go check it out, corbettreport.com/hopium, HOPIUM. Because unfortunately, yeah, once people start to realize that things are really bad, in fact, much worse than we're even being told that they are, people, of course, are desperate and they're looking around. What do we do about this? What's the solution? And unfortunately, the people who are trying to control you and control your mind and steer society understand about that process, and they understand how to give you the synthetic opioid of hope, a simulacrum of hope that they hope you will inject into your system and basically placate you for another 4 years or 8 years or whatever it is. And of course, in our era, that hopium, takes the form of political candidates. And don't worry, this politician is going to come in and save you. And so people get caught up in that left-right game and all of the political game, essentially. But so, yes, all of that I see as hopium. That's not going to solve the problem. That's just going to make you basically go to sleep for another few years, and it's going to leave you in a worse state than you were before, and needing ever and ever bigger fixes of the hopium in order to maintain yourself in this increasingly crazy world. So what's the real hope? Because I think there is real hope. And I think the differentiation is hopium placates you and puts you to sleep and makes you passive and unaware. Hope is that thing that impels you. Okay, if I do this, if I take this action, if I start making steps in the world, I can reach this goal that I have set for myself. That is hope. It is rocket fuel that propels us to the next level. Hopium makes us passive. And so look at the QAnon phenomenon. What was literally one of the key cliches of the Q drops? Enjoy the show. Grab the popcorn. Oh boy, just sit back and watch. There's going to be arrests and all of this craziness. Oh, it's going to be beautiful. Just sit back. Just wait there. Just sit and wait for the white hats. Just a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer, guys. And then, after the 2020 selection, I figured surely they'll have to give up this game. No, they're still going. No, just a little bit longer. Don't worry. The good guys are still in control. This is all just wait. Just grab the popcorn. Enjoy the show. No, that is hopium. It is putting you to sleep. Wake up. You have to start taking responsibility for your life. And that is, for me, that is the hopeful message. The hope does not come from playing the political game. The hope comes from what we can do. Because at base, this is a point I make over and over and over, and I hope people will start listening to it because I think it's very important. At base, the power of this conspiracy, the they, them, those that are trying to direct society and control human endeavors and put us into these metapods and all of this, whatever is coming in the transhumanist nightmare future, and all of the financial manipulations and political manipulations, all of their power comes from us. It comes from us participating in their economy, from buying their products, from going along and voting for their politicians, from watching their news and listening to their journalists and media, and giving our time, our energy, our attention, our labor, our productive power, our wealth over to their system, and then hoping that some white hat from the clouds will come in and make them act well as they take all of our power away from us. No, we need to start building up our essentially, instead of going to the master and begging for some crumbs from the master's table, we got to create our own table. Start growing our own food and start eating that. You know what I mean? Literally as well as metaphorically. And that to me is the hope. When people start taking responsibility for their own lives rather than taking the hopium and looking for some help from some white hat on the clouds or whatever, that is when we start being able to truly tackle the core of this problem. Because people, unfortunately, are inculcated with this idea from very young age that the way to defeat this evil thing, okay, you identify who is the king, the leader of the evil force, you chop off his head, and everything's better again, which is a false template. It does not work that way. If you identify the 10, the 100, the 1,000 people, whatever you think it is, that are controlling this cabal, and you got rid of them overnight, there'd be a million people trying to jump into those positions of power that have just been vacated, because the system itself is the problem. The ideology of control, of trying to control other people, is itself the problem. Instead of looking at the system as it exists is perfect, it's run by bad people. No. The system as it exists is the problem. And the people actually almost don't even matter, because there will always be bad people trying to control other people. But if they don't have those positions of power from which they can control other people, then it doesn't matter. Maybe they can control this little organization here or this little community structure over here, but hey, you can easily get away from them in that case. But when you give them power over broad swaths of geographical territory, or a nation, or hey, the United Nations, or the global structures, you start giving these people ultimate control over humanity itself. So again, it is our power. If we start using it, that is my hope. I think we really can defeat this, not by fighting against them, but by withdrawing our participation from them.